See Circle Calendar 1507, 5 months after Mariajoy was attacked. A certain sea area of a euro the Grand Line. Pirate found ahead. It's the Sun Pirates. Report to the headquarters quickly. Left full rudder, ready to fight. On the sea, when a marine warship was patrolling, it suddenly discovered the Sun Pirates. Since the formation of the Sun Pirates, Tiger and others have disappeared into the sea. The reason for disappearing is not because of fear, but because they need to recuperate, and at the same time, reduce Marine's attention. Sure enough, Marine still failed to find Tiger and others after 3 months. Therefore, Marine had to relax the pursuit. After all, to get the Marines of the Grand Line to participate in the hunt, the assistance of the countries of the world government is also required. This in itself is a large expense. The world government doesn't have that much money either. What's more, there are so many guys with bounties on the sea, and we can't waste all our energy on Tiger. However, today Marine discovered the Sun Pirates again. After a period of rest, the Sun Pirates are ready. They decided to use force to resist the world government, and to control violence with violence. The Sun Pirates also found Marine. However, they had no intention of fleeing. Because of such battles, there will be more and more in the future. Brothers, prepare to fight. Tiger stood at the bow and shouted loudly. Meanwhile, Marine on the warship can see Tiger with a telescope. Confirm that Fisher Tiger is on board. The captain of the warship, Colonel Fislow, held the binoculars and continued, report the situation here to Mr. Victor. Just as Fislow finished speaking, there was only a loud bang. The warship seemed to be hit by something. The warship shook violently. What happened? Fislow yelled loudly, there's something underwater. At this time, a Marine looked down and saw a huge figure swimming quickly on the sea. Then there was another loud bang. After continuous impacts, the cabin of the warship began to leak. The bottom of the boat is leaking. It's over, the ship is sinking. The sailors were in a panic, and they were ready to abandon the ship. Let me send you to hell. On the bottom of the sea, the evil dragon thought fiercely, then jumped up with both feet, and rushed towards the warship with all his strength. Jinbei on the side also launched an attack. Tiger's attack worked well. Tiger is responsible for attracting Marine's attention, and then Jinbei, evil dragon and others attack from underwater. Although the land is the human world, in the sea, the Murlocs and mermaids are the masters. The battle between the two sides took less than a few minutes from start to finish. The warship sank completely, and the Marine who fell into the water will soon be killed by the evil dragon and others. However, at this moment, Tiger came. Don't hurt them. At this time, Tiger shouted at the crowd. Then, Tiger shouted to the Marines, we will not kill anyone. Lost warship. Marine was dragged into the sea by the Murlocs without any ability to struggle or resist. Therefore, all that awaits them is death. However, Tiger's words were equivalent to giving them a chance to survive. Fislow's impression of Tiger is also much better. We won. With 0 casualties, Marine was defeated. The Murlocs and Mermen began to celebrate and cheer. This victory doubled their confidence. Marineford, Naval Headquarters, inside Victor Admiral's office. Wright walked in a hurry and said to Victor, Senior, Branch 160 has discovered the Sun Pirates, but they have lost contact now. Victor was not surprised when he heard the words. He said in a deep voice, it should be more ominous than ominous. Yeah. Wright nodded. At this time, Victor smoked a cigarette and said, let's call for a meeting. Yes. Wright nodded. Soon, under the notice of Victor, Vice Admiral, Rear Admiral, Commodore, and Colonels in Naval Headquarters all gathered in the meeting room. This is a large conference room that can accommodate hundreds of people. Victor appeared in front of everyone while smoking a cigarette. He said in a serious tone, just now, Colonel Fislow of Branch 160 encountered Fisher Tiger and has lost contact. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the meeting room fell silent. The strength of the enemy is stronger than we expected, especially at sea. From now on, everyone, including the headquarters, must enter the first level of combat readiness and be ready to attack at any time. Victor continued. He is issuing combat orders to strengthen the hunt for Tiger and his gang. However, at this moment, the phone bug rang. Wright told Victor, Fislow is alive and Tiger didn't kill them. Victor was not surprised when he heard this. Who makes Tiger a good person? Pity. This world doesn't need good people. The Sun Pirates continued to gallop across the ocean. They fought fiercely with the Marine who was chasing them, and the human pirates who tried to defeat them and became famous. Within a few months, Tiger and his group defeated multiple groups of enemies one after another. Moreover, in order to reduce the hatred value, Fisher Tiger pursued a peaceful policy during the voyage, asking the Sun Pirates not to harm humans for no reason, including the humans who fought them. Although Jinbei, Evil Dragon and others did not understand, Tiger told them that the meaning of the Sun Pirates is liberation and freedom. Liberation? Free? Jinbei and the Evil Dragon did not understand such words. But who made Tiger the boss? They all respect Tiger. Tiger is what he says. Anyway, they have been winning now. Tuk tuk. There was a hasty knock on the door. Wright immediately got up and opened the door. At this time, 2 CP0 agents broke in. They walked into Victor's office, and one of the agents wearing a hammer mask said directly to Victor, "Why are Fisher Tiger and those dirty murlocs still active in the sea?" These words sounded like asking for a crime. However, it is also understandable. A few months ago, Victor pinned the blame on CP0, calling them negligent. Now that CP0 has seized the opportunity, it is natural to come for revenge. Has no one taught you manners? At this time, Victor put his feet on the table and said with a blank expression, "Victor, don't think that you can be unscrupulous if Angela Dean supports you." The wolf-headed agent came to Victor and tried to warn Victor. However, as soon as he finished speaking, Victor raised his hand and pointed his finger at Agent Wolfhead. Just a whoosh. A gas bomb grazed the edge of the wolf's head mask and scratched the cheek of the wolf's head agent. Blood dripped down. "If you don't understand, I'll teach you." "Do you understand now? You bastard." Agent Wolfface didn't expect Victor to do it. In Victor's office, Victor almost killed him. "Okay, now you can go." Victor waved his hand and said impatiently. The wolf-faced agent ran into a wall, but he didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. Together with his companions, he turned around and left. After the two left, Wright said to Victor, "Master Victor, do we need to regroup the troops and let the franchise countries cooperate with us?" In Wright's view, Fisher Tiger needs to be caught as soon as possible. Otherwise, there is no way to make a deal with celestial dragons. Hearing this, Victor chuckled and said, "So many people were transferred before, and there was such a big commotion, what happened?" After hearing Victor's words, Wright asked, "So what to do with him?" Victor said, "Don't worry, I have a solution. Give them some time now, let them experience the last madness." Yes. Wright nodded, he believed that Victor must have a way. See Circle Calendar 1508. The fact that Mariojoy was attacked is no longer mentioned. However, Sun Pirates have had a bad reputation recently. I heard that the Murlocs of the Sun Pirates like to eat children's livers. Not only that, I heard that many people have been killed. Humans, Murlocs, and mermaids lack communication. Now, rumors are spreading everywhere, and the public opinion is even more unfavorable for the Murlocs and Merfolk. All humans start to fear Murlocs and Merfolk. In addition, Murlocs are generally full of fangs, unlike good people, and they are even more frightening to humans. In the final analysis, human beings fear the unknown. A tamed liger is just a large cat in the eyes of humans. As the rumors of human beings being attacked increased, with the spread of rumors, let alone the Sun Pirates, it is difficult for even Murlocs to gain a foothold. Because humans are afraid of Murlocs, they are more cruel to them. Moreover, as long as you report Murlocs and mermaids, you can get rewards. Of course, the instigator of all this is Victor. Victor tells Tezzolo and Doflamingo to spread rumors. It caused the human world to start a witch hunt. Victor loves witch hunt, and has studied it. From the end of the 15th century to the 17th century, in those days all parts of Europe were ablaze. Whether religious or secular, the judiciary vigorously arrests the so-called witches, and then uses unreasonable secret interrogation, the rule of evidence, and harsh punishments to easily convict people. In this horrific campaign, women are the biggest victims. Thousands of innocent women were judged as witches and burned at the stake. And the reason for the blame is only because of the stupidity of most human beings. The ruling class uses theology as its sole ideology. Therefore, the idea of a euro the devil is very popular, thinking that everything in the world was created by God, and whenever disasters occur, it is believed that evil forces are at work. People violate social norms or religion, and are also thought to be possessed by demons or wizards themselves. Therefore, all mankind began to believe in this saying, as long as there is a disaster, or anyone needs to take the blame, they can blame the wizard. Of course, there are witch hunts in every era. Because with ideology, there is opposition. In the end, the Han and the thieves were at odds. Tarina Island. All the men on the island are fishing at sea. The women are busy in the fishing village. Their daily work is to mend fishing nets, take care of the elderly, and raise their offspring. This should have been an ordinary small fishing village, However, a child came to the fishing village. The child's name is Koala, and she is so dirty that no village child wants to get close to her. It was a man named Tucker who brought her back. Tucker is an adventurer who went to sea 5 years ago and has not been heard from since. I didn't expect to come back this time and bring back a girl. Like Koala, Tucker was also a slave. When Tiger freed the slaves, he escaped with Koala. Needless to say, the journey was difficult. While fleeing with Koala, Tucker was shot. There was no way to treat him on the way to escape, resulting in wound infection. Thanks also to Tucker being a tough guy who insisted on bringing Koala back to the village. If it were an ordinary person, he would have died long ago. However, Tucker still had trouble escaping the Shinigami. Days after bringing Koala back, Tucker died. Before his death, Tucker entrusted the villagers to take care of Koala. If possible, he hoped that they could take Koala back to his hometown of Fulcia Island. Evening. The golden afterglow sprinkled on the beach. Fishing boats loaded with catch. Old people, women, children are waiting on the beach. Koala is among them. Although she was entrusted to the people of the village, she was used to working. At this time, a pirate ship approached in the distance. It's a pirate. Hey, everyone, run away. The villagers were terrified. The country they live in is a poor country that cannot afford the gold in the sky. When encountering a pirate attack, they can only deal with it in their own way. Like hiding. The village is in disarray. However, at this moment, another pirate ship came. 2 ships are chasing at sea. Suddenly, a pirate ship was overturned. A murloc emerges from the sea. The battle happened quickly and ended quickly. However, the fishermen on the beach have all run away. Only Koala sprained his ankle and couldn't move. At this time, the pirates began to land. However, when Koala saw the faces of the pirates, she was not so afraid. Koala? Is it Koala? It's really you. Tiger and his party passed by Talina Island, and they thought of Tucker, so they came to see it. Tucker, like Tiger, is an adventurer whose dream is to travel the world. Tucker took good care of Tiger when they were slaves together. Even without Tucker, Tiger would have died long ago. Among the many slaves, Koala is a very inconspicuous existence. Tucker has been taking care of her. Because of Tucker's relationship, the relationship between Tiger and Koala is also good. Where's Tucker? Tiger asked Koala. Dead. Koala replied in a small voice. What? Tiger was surprised when he heard this. I was shot here to protect me, it was my fault. Koala said fearfully. As in Marriajoy, fear of abuse when mistakes are made. After hearing Koala's answer, Tiger raised his hand and patted Koala's head lightly. He's a man, Tiger said of Koala. Koala looked at Tiger suspiciously. I remember that your hometown is on the island of Forcia. Tiger said to Carl. When they were slaves, they would talk about their past when they were resting. Hometown is a place that cannot be avoided. Everyone hopes that they can go back, even if it means taking their ashes back for burial. Yeah. Koala nodded. Let's go, I'll take you home. Tiger decided to fulfill Tucker's last wish and send Koala home. Run, the ogre is coming. Run away. Kids catch up quickly, ogres like to eat children the most. In a small town, when Tiger and others were recognized, the people in the whole town panicked. They ran around as if avoiding disaster. Murloc equals ogre. There are such rumors in the sea now. Why don't you explain it to them? Koala asked suspiciously. She has been on board for some time. On their way to send her home, they encounter Marine. During the fierce fighting between the two sides, someone was shot. Although the injuries were not fatal, there were not many medicines on board. They need to go to the town to replenish their medicines, so contact with humans is unavoidable. However, Koala doesn't understand. Mingming Tiger and members of the Sun Pirates did not harm humans. Even the humans who fought with them, no matter if they were Marines or pirates, they tried not to kill them if they could. However, the other party still wants to put them to death. It seems that Tiger and others are really demons. Everyone gets it and punishes it. Tiger smiled, then patted Koala on the head. Do you want fried sugar cake? Koala nodded. Arlong, Tiger called out. The dragon came over. Go eat fried sugar cakes with Koala, remember to give money. Tiger said to the dragon. Understood. The evil dragon looked reluctant. It doesn't matter if you don't kill someone, but they are pirates. Do pirates have to pay for food? What kind of pirate is this? The evil dragon has a lot of things to say in his heart. Tiger watched Koala go away, he had just changed the subject. He also wanted to explain. However, Tiger knew that no one was willing to listen to the Murloc's explanation. Because these people are also wanted by the world government. It's a group of dangerous elements. Human beings will not verify the truth of this matter in order to obtain the truth. It's like the bridge in Let the Bullets Fly. The spectators didn't care whether Lu Zi ate 1 bowl of noodles or 2 bowls of noodles. Those who watched the excitement didn't care whether Lu Zi was wronged or not. Because it has nothing to do with them. In the same way, it has nothing to do with ordinary people whether murlocs or ogres or not. Even if they're not ogres, they're pirates. Marineford, Naval Headquarters, Marshal's office. Boom boom boom. Victor knocked on the office door. Come in. After hearing Kong's voice, Victor opened the door and entered. After Victor entered the room, he saw Sora looking at the documents. So, Victor sat across from Kong. Marshal, is there something wrong? After Victor sat down, he took out his cigarette and lit one for himself. He smoked a cigarette, passed his lungs naturally, and breathed out smoke. Sora looked at Victor and said seriously, "What are you going to do about Fisher Tiger? When will you do it?" In Kong's view, Victor can even catch the golden lion, and it is not difficult to catch Fisher Tiger. Hearing this, Victor smiled and said, "It's actually not difficult to catch them immediately." Kong nodded seriously, "Tell me about it." As long as our marine accuses the Fishmen Island of sheltering Fisher Tiger and providing supplies to the Sun Pirates, then we will send people into the Fishmen Island to arrest tens of thousands of people and come back for interrogation. If Tiger doesn't show up, they will be executed. When Victor said this, he deliberately glanced at Sora. Sora looked surprised, as if he was looking at the expression of a lunatic. It's not the first time this kind of thing has happened. I believe Sengoku Uncle has also used it. Besides, didn't the world government also capture Tom the Murloc? Victor continued. Kong shook his head, "No, this won't work." Although the Murlocs and mermaids on the island were once classified as fish by humans and were discriminated against by humans, after the Dragon Palace Kingdom became a member of the world government 200 years ago, the Murlocs and mermaids began to establish friendly relations with humans. The king of the Fishmen Island was also allowed to attend World Summit. Although it is still discriminated against, it is a member country anyway. Now go catch people on the Fishmen Island. How much more do you want to catch? Only a lunatic like Victor could figure it out. Victor said, "This is the easiest way. Otherwise, we can only continue to track their location. Moreover, there have been a lot of reports from enthusiastic citizens recently. I believe they will be caught soon." After hearing Victor's words, Sora asked seriously, "Did you come up with the ogre rumors?" "Marshal, this is just a ruse, and I believe the resourceful General Sengoku will do the same." Victor didn't hide either. Both civil and military, isn't this a good thing? "Well, you go out first." Sora nodded and said no more. Now that Victor is already working on it, let's wait for the result. Boom boom boom. At the same time, Kizaru knocked on the door of Sengoku's office. "Come in." Sengoku called towards the door. Kizaru walked in. "Sit down." Sengoku pointed to the chair in front of him. Kizaru sat down. Kizaru was also promoted to Vice Admiral. Although he is not active in doing things, he has always maintained an average level. Do not seek meritorious service, but seek no faults. Moreover, he does not form cliques and has always maintained neutrality, but no one has targeted him. However, Sengoku now wants to win over Kizaru. Kizaru, Akainu, and Victor belong to the same class, and some people call them the three masters of the first generation. Today, both Victor and Akainu are admirals, and Victor is even competing for marshal. And Kizaru is just a vice admiral. Although Kizaru is the commander of the G2 branch and his strength is also recognized, his influence is very low. Sengoku greeted, "We haven't seen each other for a while." Kizaru also worked alongside Sengoku. This is a set of friendship. "Mr. Sengoku, do you have anything to do with me?" Kizaru wasn't going to circle around, he asked. Sengoku said, "You know about Fisher Tiger?" "Yeah." Kizaru nodded. Sengoku said, "The world government has become dissatisfied with Victor's productivity." "Yeah." Kizaru froze for a moment. Sengoku went on to say, "However, Victor is now the face of Marine, and the world government doesn't want to lose face. Therefore, the Sun Pirates need to be eliminated as soon as possible. Otherwise, the existence of the Sun Pirates will be an embarrassment to the world government." A euro. That's right. Kizaru acted like I understood. In fact, in naval headquarters, the competition between Victor and Sengoku for the position of marshal has already been made public. Victor, who has always been known for his efficiency, will be humiliated if Kizaru catches Fisher Tiger. Sengoku smoked a cigarette. "I am optimistic about you. Your strength and ability are more suitable to be admiral than Victor." The implication is that you can be Admiral. However, Sengoku is also cunning. He hinted at hints, but didn't give Kizaru any promises. Kizaru felt the same as Ding Jing, and he replied, I will arrange it now. Marineford, Naval Headquarters, inside Victor's office. Wright walked up to Victor and said to Victor, Senior, Sengoku met Kizaru. Should be letting Kizaru handle Tiger's business. Victor said calmly. All along, Kizaru followed Sengoku. It's just that Kizaru is not popular most of the time. Maybe it's too obscene. Maybe because Zephyr doesn't like it. In short, Sengoku always thinks of Aokiji when he has good things, and his attitude towards Kizaru is very average. However, Aokiji's salty attitude, and, in the task of rounding up the Golden Lion, Aokiji also failed to cause trouble for Victor. Therefore, Sengoku re-enables Kizaru. Kizaru is in the same class as Victor and Akainu, and is one of the 3 elites. Maybe enabling Kizaru will make a difference. In short, Sengoku has Sengoku's plans. See you soon. Victor disagrees. In case Kizaru gets ahead. Wright was a little worried. Victor asked back. Do you think he can take the lead? This. Wright couldn't say it, he didn't know Kizaru very well. To be precise, Kizaru has been keeping a low profile in the headquarters, just completing tasks according to the orders of his superiors. Never complain about work. Assign any task and Kizaru will accept it and complete it. Therefore, most Marines are not very impressed with Kizaru, and do not understand his character and ability. It doesn't matter. Victor said disapprovingly, he is with me, there is no secret. Wright froze for a moment. G2 Branch Base, Commander's Office. After Kizaru returned to the office, he sent for Kadalu Rear Admiral. Tuk tuk. Come in. Kizaru called towards the door. Kadalu Rear Admiral walked in. Commander. Kataru Rear Admiral saluted Kizaru. Sit down. Kizaru pointed to the sofa beside him. After Kataru sat down, Kizaru gave Kataru all the intelligence and information Sengoku had given him. Kadalu looked at the intelligence and messages, and said, Isn't this the task of Victor Admiral? It's Victor's job to catch Fisher Tiger the fisherman. Inside Marine, this is no secret. Go and investigate. Kizaru did not explain why. Yes. Kadalu accepted the order and was about to leave. Kizaru reminded. Remember, you only need to investigate, you can't attack them, so as not to scare the snake. Yes. Kadalu nodded, turned and left. In the original plot, Kizaru sent Kadalu Rear Admiral to investigate, but Kataru ignored Peluzalino's order to attack the Sun Pirates, and finally ended up with the entire army wiped out. Kadalu returned to the office, he did not rush to send someone to investigate, but picked up the phone bug. Blue blue. Blue blue, after a while. I am Kadalu from the G2 branch, and I have an important feedback. Speak, Comrade Kadalu. Kizaru accepted the mission to hunt down Fisher Tiger, and now send me to investigate. Please make sure to report this to Victor Admiral. Well, I'll pass it on right away. Thank you, Comrade Kadalu. After a while, the phone bug on Victor's desk rang. I see. Victor put down the phone bug. Wright was shocked. Sengoku must be unexpected. The penetration of the headquarters of the Blue Ocean Society has reached this level. Victor's eyes and ears are everywhere. Although the capital of the Seven Waters was almost destructively hit, Tom's wish was still fulfilled. The sea train, which Tom's studio has devoted 10 years of hard work, is finally completed. On the day the sea train was completed, Victor received an invitation to witness and ride the sea train. Victor was there too. It's Victor Admiral. Victor Admiral is here. As soon as Victor arrived in the capital of Seven Waters, he was warmly welcomed by the citizens. Although Victor indirectly destroyed the capital of Seven Waters, causing a large number of casualties and property losses. But Victor is now a Marine general, it's like chasing stars. Ordinary people's pursuit of Victor has forgotten what Victor has done. Not to mention, in the eyes of many people, Victor is a good man. For example, Victor speaks out. If Victor hadn't been the voice for Tom, Tom wouldn't have survived. It is even more impossible to bring a sea train to the capital of Seven Waters. A wicked man has done countless evil things, as long as these evil things are not exposed. And if he does good deeds with great fanfare, then he will become a good person known to the world. When Tom saw Victor, he said gratefully, Victor Admiral, I didn't expect you to find time to come. The sea train is a great project, and its completion will save tens of millions of civilians. Victor praised without hesitation. Hearing these words, Bingshan, Frankie and the others couldn't help puffing up their chests. I know that the capital of Seven Waters has suffered. However, I believe that the hardworking, brave, and great citizens of the capital of Seven Waters will rebuild their homes. It's going to be more prosperous, more prosperous. When the tourist season comes, it will be full of tourists. Victor started his speech in front of many citizens of Water City. Every citizen of Shudu is listening carefully. I promise. Marine will send warships to patrol to ensure the normal and safe operation of the train. When Victor made his promise, the citizens of the Seven Waters immediately applauded. There was thunderous applause. At this time, the image bug is also broadcasting live. Including Marineford Square, it is also broadcasting live. After reading it, Aokiji put on the blindfold and went back to sleep. Victor's hypocrisy made him feel sick. At the same time, the stupidity of the people also makes Aokiji helpless. Even though he was the real culprit behind the scenes that caused harm to the capital of Seven Waters, he was appreciated by the citizens. This world is really too strange. At the same time, according to intelligence, Kadalu Rear Admiral is secretly tracking the whereabouts of Tiger and others. They even found out Tucker's hometown. According to the villagers, Tiger took a girl away from the village. The girl came back with Tucker. They all have the brand of Tian Shanglong's hoof on their bodies. Before Tucker died, he also entrusted the villagers to send Koala back to his hometown, Forcha Island. The intelligence gradually became clear. Kataru is preparing to report to Victor. Sir, wait first, don't rush to report. Suddenly, Kadalu's adjutant stopped him. Why? Kataru asked. The adjutant replied, Sir, if you capture Tiger with your own hands and hand him over to Lord Victor, then. The adjutant did not finish speaking on purpose. Then the credit this time is not small. Kadalu's eyes lit up. The adjutant reminded. But what if Mr. Victor entrusts the task of arresting to other people? I almost made a mistake. Kadalu raised his hand, patted his forehead, and decided to continue tracking. If Tiger can be captured and dedicated to Victor, that would be a great achievement. After this mission is over, not only can he be promoted to Vice Admiral, but his status in the Blue Ocean Club can also be improved. Kadalu has a clear goal and is determined. The credit for this time cannot be passed on to others. The fate of people seems to be doomed, same as in the original plot. Kataru chose to capture Fisher Tiger himself. He is like a shark smelling blood now. He will not give up until he bites the prey. Sabaody Archipelago, inside Victor's villa. Blue blue. Blue blue. The phone bug was calling. Victor picked up the microphone. Master Victor, according to the report from the comrades in the G2 branch, Kadalu has tracked Tiger, and now he intends to arrest them alone. I see. Victor smiled, not surprisingly. One radish and one pit. Marine is too introverted. Even in the Blue Ocean Club. Those who are capable are not afraid of making mistakes, and those who are not capable will try their best to get ahead. Kadalu is weak. However, there are many people like Kadalu. They have a lot of small thoughts in their hearts and always want to seize every opportunity. And the person reporting to the G2 branch of the Blue Ocean Club is Kadalu's adjutant Damian Jones. Victor immediately raised his hand and lightly pressed the button on the desk. After a while, Lucci walked in. Victor said to Lucci, there is something you need to do. Lucci was expressionless. Specific tasks, someone will tell you on the way. Victor smoked a cigarette. It may be a bit difficult, but you should be able to solve it. Yes. After Lucci finished speaking, he turned and left the study. Lucci came to the yard and hooked Bluno and Jabra who were training. Bluno and Jabra immediately moved over. Come with me for the first time. Lucci said lightly. Not far away, the three sisters Hancock, Sandersonia, and Marigold looked at them curiously. Sister, has Master Victor arranged tasks for them again? Sandersonia asked quietly. Must be. Hancock grumbled. She didn't understand why Master Victor didn't arrange tasks for her. Obviously, her strength has improved by leaps and bounds now, and she is already able to be alone. These days, Robin is busy all day. Lucci and the others also frequently went out to pick up tasks. Only she is still at home. Hancock. Just then, the window of the study opened and Victor poked his head out and called Hancock's name. I am here. Hancock heard Victor calling her name, and immediately trotted to Victor's side, with a smile on her face. Although she is 17 years old, she still looks like a child in front of Victor. Victor stroked Hancock's smooth black hair and said, there's something I need you to do. Hancock heard this and said excitedly, really? Yeah. Victor stroked Hancock's cheek. I need Hancock to perform an important task. Important task. Hearing this, Hancock became excited. Finally, it was her turn. The current Hancock is also a child mentality, She is jealous that Robin and Lucci can be reused. And she was ignored and indifferent. Victor said to Hancock, "Remember your hometown?" Hancock nodded. Her hometown is Daughter Island, a place with strong folk customs. Victor said, "I want you to go back there and become the emperor of the daughter country." Huh? Hancock was taken aback. Victor said, as Hancock confident to complete the task. Yeah. Hancock nodded vigorously. Victor said, "Let's go, I believe Hancock will surprise me." "I will definitely not disappoint Sir Victor." Hancock answered seriously. "Sister, are we really going back to Daughter Island?" When Sandersonia heard that she was going back to Daughter Island, her face was full of hesitation. She doesn't want to leave here. Although Daughter's Island is their hometown, it's better here. Now Victor does not limit the freedom of the three. Sandersonia and Marigold often go shopping. Saboti Archipelago has a lot of delicious food and fun, and life in Mightyno is full and interesting. In comparison, life on Daughter's Island is really boring. Marigold was also unwilling to go back. "Sister, can you not go back?" "No," Hancock shook his head and said earnestly, "this is the task Mr. Victor gave us, and we must complete it." After listening to Hancock, both Sandersonia and Marigold shut up. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the boat came. Victor personally sent the 3 Hancock sisters to the pier. "I will send a liaison officer to the island. It is not convenient for me to come forward for many things, and I need you to do it for me." Victor said to the 3 of Hancock. "We will." Hancock, Sandersonia, and Marigold answered seriously. "Okay, let's get on board." Victor waved his hand. The 3 Hancock sisters boarded the boat reluctantly. They did not return to the cabin until they lost sight of the Saboti Archipelago. "Long time no see." A familiar voice came from the cabin. The 3 of Hancock took a closer look. "Robin. Why are you here?" Hancock asked in surprise. Robin replied, "This is an order from Lord Victor." Hancock asked, "Are you going to Daughter's Island with us?" However, it is impossible for ordinary boats to approach Daughter's Island, around Daughter's Island. Before Sandersonia could finish speaking, Robin explained with a smile, "Don't worry, this ship uses Marine's latest seastone technology and can pass through Com Belt safely." "Doesn't that mean?" Hancock and the others were surprised at first, then scared. "Daughter's Island has always been protected by the Com Belt. Don't worry, Lord Victor will protect you." Robin smiled, then took out the task he had prepared in advance and handed it to Hancock. "What's this?" Hancock said. Robin replied, "I prepared this for you to help you seize the position of Emperor." Huh? Hancock glanced at Robin, then shook his head and dropped it. "I don't need these." In Hancock's view, with her current strength, it would be a breeze to become the Emperor of Daughter Island. "Don't forget it." Robin is not reluctant. She was sent by Victor to Tezzolo's side. Not only is he familiar with the operating mode of the underground world, but he also understands more skills in getting along with others. Hancock has a haughty personality. She couldn't listen to anyone except Victor. That's right. At this moment, Hancock suddenly thought of something. "What's wrong?" Robin asked. Hancock asked earnestly, "When can we return to Lord Victor's side?" "Well." Robin deliberately thought for a while, and then said in a playful tone, "It depends on your performance." "What is our mission this time?" Jabra asked curiously. Lucci didn't answer him. "Hope it's not an outlandish task," Jabra murmured. Bluno glanced at Lucci. Lucci closed his eyes and rested. If there is no Lucci, then they will join CP9. Although they are members of Anbu now, Marine doesn't know their existence. Because they only have codenames. For example, Bluno's nickname is a cow. Jabra's codename is dog. Lucci's codename is dragon. Every move they make leaves no trace, so no one knows they did it. Take off the mask, blend in with the crowd, and they disappear. The warship sailed all the way until they were sent to Trick Island. Trike Island is not a big island. There is only one town on the island, and the population in the town is not large. The people living in this town, because they are poor, do not have the money to pay the heavenly gold, so they are not protected by the world government. Your things are all ready. After the officers on the warship finished speaking, they sent Lucci and others to the island. After Lucci and others landed on the island, they quickly moved forward according to the designated position. They found a boat in a bay. There are also weapons, food, and fresh water on board. 3 days of food. I have a bad feeling. I hate the task of ambush. Jabra looked depressed. Lucci ignored him, and he boarded the boat directly. Hey, what is the mission? Jabra still wants to know. When Jabra spoke, Bluno had already boarded the boat first. Really, I don't say the task every time. Jabra was speechless, and could only cooperate and boarded the boat. Forcha Island. This is the hometown of Koala. In the original plot, Tiger arrived at Koala's hometown, Fullshed Island. After completing the escort, he was informed by local residents. As a result, the Sun Pirates were attacked by Marine who had already ambushed here. And on the island, Tiger was also attacked by Marine Rear Admiral Stowe Barry's forces. Fisher Tiger was seriously injured in the battle. Fortunately, Jinbei and others saved their lives, and then rescued Tiger from Marine and took away a warship. Since only human blood is stored on human warships, Tiger refused blood transfusion because he hated human blood, resulting in serious injury and death. At this time, the people of Forcha Island are still living a leisurely life as usual. The old people in the village played chess together, the children played with the dog, and the women chatted together, full of life. Lucci watched all this from afar. Luke then puts on his dragon mask. Bluno also put on the cow mask. Jabra puts on the dog mask. Our task is to execute all the people here, Lucci said to Jabra and others. Jabra was taken aback when he heard this. Aren't the elderly and children spared? Bluno finally spoke. Lucci said, these villagers are suspected of colluding with the rebels, so no one will be left alive. Colluding with the Revolutionary Army is the justice of this operation. As a matter of fact, there were indeed people from Forcha who joined the Revolutionary Army. However, this is just an excuse, the mission, Jabra murmured. This is in order. Lucci looked at Jabra coldly. Although through the mask, the murderous look on Lucci made Jabra shut up. With the strength of Lucci, Jabra, and Bluno, it is easy to kill the residents of an entire village. The Isle of Forcha is ahead, Koala said excitedly. Koala's personality has improved a lot during the days he spent with Tiger and others. It's finally here, the dragon muttered brokenly. He didn't like living with humans. What's more, on the way to send Koala home, they were chased by Marine. However, although the opponent is Rear Admiral, his strength is average. Not only failed to catch them, but was also defeated by the Sun Pirates. However, this kind of life will be the norm in the future, and carrying Koala is a very troublesome thing. After all, during the battle, there is no energy to take care of Koala. Tiger and others got off the boat. As the saying goes, helping people to the end, sending Buddha to the west. Since you want to send Koala back to your hometown, Ida Euro-S not too far behind. However, when Tiger and others arrived at the village, they found that the village was full of corpses. See if there are any survivors, Tiger said to the evil dragon, Jinbei and others. The evil dragon, Jinbei and others quickly searched the village. However, there were not a single survivor. Died. They're all dead. Koala's eyes glazed over. She didn't expect that after finally returning to her hometown, there was no one alive in the family. Murlocs have attacked the village. Suddenly, someone outside the village shouted. The evil dragon and Jinbei chased it out. I saw the traders passing by the village fleeing in a hurry. These vendors will pick up goods every day and sell them along the whole building. When he passed by, he happened to see the Murlocs entering the village. As a result, the traders rolled and crawled, calling for help while fleeing. What is he yelling? The dragon couldn't help being furious when he heard this. He is a short-tempered man. Now that humans have framed him, he wants to ask for an explanation. However, Tiger grabbed the dragon by the shoulder. Let's bury the body and get out of here, Tiger said to everyone. As for clarification, he is a Murloc and a wanted criminal. Who will believe his words? So, Tiger and others worked together to find an open space near the village and dig a pit to bury the villagers. However, before Tiger and others buried them, they heard the sound of shelling. In the distance, Marine's warship is approaching the island. That's too late. Everyone retreat quickly. Tiger ordered the retreat. The Sun Pirates took Koala, and a group of people boarded the ship again. Marineford, Naval Headquarters, Victor's office. Blue. The phone bug on the desk was beeping. Victor picked up the microphone. Master Victor, the Sun Pirates attacked a village on Falsia Island. All the men, women, and children in the village were killed, and no one survived. Marine, who was reporting to Victor, looked angry. I see. Victor put down the microphone, and then he said to Wright, contact the World Economic News to report on the atrocities of the Murlocs. Yes. Wright nodded. In the past, it was just rumors that Murlocs killed and ate humans. Today, not only the scene of the crime, but also witnesses. Tiger and the Sun Pirates are yellow mud falling off their crotches, not shit, but also shit. Moreover, even if Tiger and others defended, no one would believe them. Of course, all of this is what Victor wants. Provoke conflicts between humans and Murlocs. Let the two sides forge a bloody feud, and never die. Hate is a good thing. It can bring destruction, but it can also bring courage. If Victor wants to become the king of the world, he must use some means. Obviously, Murlocs and Merfolk are exploitable. Therefore, Victor framed Tiger and the Sun Pirates. Because only in this way, Victor can an eye for an eye, an eye for an eye. Marine can use the same means to retaliate against the Fishmen Island. At the same time, public opinion will support Victor. After all, it was the Murlocs who attacked the elderly and children first. Only in this way can the name be justified. Under Victor's arrangement, the newspapers began to publicize the massacre of the village. Before Victor crossed over, some Western countries and media were good at making news. However, they will find some actors, and then they will find a director to set up the scene. Victor doesn't have time to find so many irrelevant people to film. The fewer people who know about it, the better. Thus, Victor thought of framing. Anyway, Fisher Tiger and others have already jumped into the Yellow River and can't clean up. Marineford, Naval Headquarters. Sora looked at the newspaper, frowning. Sengoku was also puzzled. Why Fisher Tiger and others slaughtered villages on Falsia Island? Had the inhabitants of Falca provoked them? However, Sengoku has no desire to investigate either. At this time, Victor walked into the office. Victor. Sora looked at Victor and asked seriously, how long will it take before we can catch them? Hearing this, Victor said calmly, I do have a way to catch them as soon as possible, but I need to launch a special operation against the Fishmen Island in the name of the headquarters. Sengoku frowned after hearing Victor's words, not knowing what Victor wanted to do. However, Sora knew what Victor was going to do. He said with a cold face, are you really going to do this? That's the fastest way, if you don't want more people killed. Victor said calmly. After thinking about it for a while, I agreed. Go. Sora said to Victor. After getting Kong's permission, Victor immediately summoned his troops. Soon, Victor assembled 5 vice admirals from the headquarters and 10,000 elite marines. Among them, Aokiji, Kizaru, Huashaoshan, and Flying Squirrel were all called. Where is this going? Huashaoshan asked suspiciously. Gather 5 vice admirals, 10 rear admirals, and 10,000 elite marines. This is most likely to go to Buster Call. But, why didn't Victor call on his subordinates? Instead, they called Aokiji, Kizaru, Huashaoshan, Flying Squirrel and others. This is unreasonable. Just when everyone was puzzled, Victor appeared. Victor came in front of the crowd and said to them, let's go, the destination is the Fishmen Island. Going to the Fishmen Island? Aokiji, Kizaru and others were at a loss. Didn't you just go there? Why are you still going? Moreover, what do you want to use so many troops again this time? Shouldn't it really be destroying the Fishmen Island? This is an order from the world government. After Victor finished speaking, he walked directly to his flagship. Kizaru followed behind, smoking a cigarette. Aokiji and others also boarded the warship. 10 coated warships left in a mighty manner, and then dived. The Fishmen Island. Today's the Fishmen Island is very lively. Because the demand for mermen and murlocs is increasing. So the traffickers took the risk and harassed the Fishmen Island again. At this time, on the Fishmen Island, the murlocs and mermen were running around. None of them wanted to be caught. If caught by human traffickers, hell awaits them. On the Fishmen Island, Whitebeard's flag is so conspicuous. However, the traffickers are well aware that the Whitebeard pirates are not stationed on the island. Even if Whitebeard came, it would take time. By the time Whitebeard arrived, they had already escaped. This moment. In the Dragon Palace Kingdom, Neptune has assembled an army, ready to drive out the traffickers. However, just as Dragon Palace City was preparing for action, 10 warships arrived at the Fishmen Island. The human trafficker who was catching murlocs and mermen was stunned. What happened? The traffickers were dumbfounded. Victor was speechless when he saw this scene. Are there any of Doflamingo's subordinates in this group? If anything, it can only be blamed on their bad luck, hitting the muzzle themselves. Arrest these people. Victor said with a blank face. Yes. Huashaoshan and the others responded in unison. Catch traffickers? This is an act of justice. Therefore, the subordinates of Huashaoshan and others are very active. Soon, the traffickers were chased by Marine and fled everywhere. Some were even executed on the spot. The murlocs and mermaids whose hands and feet had been bound couldn't believe what they saw. Marine came to protect them? This is the first time. Are we protecting the Fishmen Island? Kizaru looked at Victor in surprise. He didn't think Victor was a good person. Aokiji is also confused. Did Victor take the wrong medicine today? When they were confused about the situation, Victor issued an order. Take them all away, including these murlocs and mermen. What? Now Aokiji and Kizaru are confused. What are you going to do? Aokiji finally spoke. He wanted to ask clearly. Victor glanced at Aokiji and said calmly, they are secretly supporting Fisher Tiger, bringing harm to the continuity of the world. They? Are you sure? Aokiji looked at the woman and child tied to the ground. These guys support Fisher Tiger? Isn't this bullshit? This is an order from the world government. Victor didn't bother to explain to Aokiji. What about after catching them? Aokiji clenched his fist secretly. He really wanted to punch Victor, but he held back. Of course it will be taken back for interrogation. If the evidence is solid, then they will be tried by Eni's lobby. Victor said calmly. Are you crazy? Aokiji's eyes widened. What the hell is the Eni's lobby? No matter whether you are guilty or not, you can't get out if you go in. Either life imprisonment or the death penalty. Moreover, among those arrested, there were children a few years old. This is an order from the world government. Victor didn't bother to explain to Aokiji. If you don't understand, you can ask Sengoku. Aokiji clenched his fists, feeling a surge of anger in his heart. This anger spread from Ohara, the capital of the Seven Waters, to the Fishmen Island. He can't hold it anymore. Kizaru smoked a cigarette and said to himself, it's really scary. How old is he who has caused such a big threat to the world? If it is bigger, I really can't imagine it. Victor smiled slightly and looked at Kizaru. Do you have any doubts about the orders from the headquarters? Kizaru raised his hand and explained, I dare not have any doubts. That's good. Victor nodded in satisfaction. He looked at Aokiji, Huashaoshan, Flying Squirrel and others again. All of them were suppressing their anger. Ah, very good. Just be angry. It's the same as creating conflicts between humans and murlocs. Victor's visit this time is also creating conflicts between Aokiji and others in the headquarters. If Victor himself ordered the task this time, then Aokiji and others would conflict with him at most. However, this time the task was approved by the headquarters. Injustice has enmity, and debt has owner. Even if Aokiji and others are unhappy, even if they want to ask for an explanation, they still go to the headquarters. Nothing to do with Victor. Create conflicts within Marine, drive Aokiji and others out of Marine, or reduce their influence in Marine. Eventually seize control of Marine. Victor will not be a polished commander. Otherwise, Victor will be the same as Akainu in the original plot. Akainu is quite miserable, even if he becomes the Marine Marshal, but who is obedient to Admiral under his command. The top is still pressed by 5 elders, and CP0 can make trouble for him. Victor would not be such an aggrieved Marine. At this time, Neptune came in a hurry with the army. Neptune had a puzzled look on his face when he saw the Murlocs and Merfolk being brought aboard the warship. What is Marine doing? So Neptune immediately wanted to ask the Marine's commander. Just in the crowd, Neptune found Victor. Neptune was about to approach, but was stopped by Marine. Stop. Marine stopped Neptune with a knife and a gun. I am Neptune, king of the Dragon Palace Kingdom, and I want to meet Victor Admiral. Neptune remained restrained. He said to the Marines. Let him come here. At this moment, Victor waved his hand towards this side. Instead of Victor walking over, he beckoned Neptune to come. This is very disrespectful to Neptune. This means that in Victor's eyes, Victor's status is much higher than that of Neptune. Neptune frowned and came to Victor. Neptune suppressed his anger. Victor Admiral, why did you arrest the people of my Dragon Palace city and put them on a warship? As the great knight of the sea, Neptune's strength is very strong. However, for his kingdom, for Odahime, he had to endure. Because he represents the Dragon Palace Kingdom, if he dares to do something, it means that the Dragon Palace Kingdom wants to attack the world government. Victor said calmly. The department has obtained conclusive evidence that the Fishmen Island is secretly supporting Fisher Tiger, so these people need to be brought back for interrogation, and then handed over to Eni's lobby for conviction. Neptune pointed at the dazed and frightened women and children. How do they support Tiger? Victor remained expressionless. You need to find the world government, our naval headquarters, to explain. You. Neptune's forehead was throbbing with veins. Victor went on to say, take everyone away, we still have a lot to do. Aokiji, Kizaru, Huashaoshan, Flying Squirrel and others looked at Victor. Are you trying to violate military orders? Victor asked Aokiji and the others back, and at the same time, his hand behind his back clenched his fist. Maybe I have to teach these guys a lesson. Although they were very upset, Huashaoshan and others chose to carry out the task. If you violate the military order, the consequences will be serious. To rescue these innocent Murlocs and mermaids, we also need to go to the headquarters to find a way. Marineford, Naval Headquarters. The captured Murlocs and mermaids were held together in the fortress cell of the headquarters. Wait until the trial is over before being sent to Eni's lobby for conviction. Of course, interrogation is just a process. Naturally, the work of interrogation will not be handed over to Aokiji and others. Victor handed over the work of the interrogation to Rodney and others, who were Victor's confidants. Naturally obeys Victor's orders completely. After Aokiji and others came back, they went to the empty office. In order to prevent the conflict from intensifying, Sengoku went to the office to mediate, trying to ease the conflict between the two parties. Inside the marshal's office, Aokiji's face was frosty, and he said coldly, "We have conclusive evidence that those innocent Murlocs and mermen colluded with Fisher Tiger?" Kuang was smoking a cigarette, exhaling smoke rings slowly. Women, children, are they also secretly supporting Tiger? What help can they provide Tiger? Aokiji continued to ask Sora. Instead of explaining, Sora told Aokiji, "This is an order from the world government. Humans are afraid of Murlocs. Therefore, when the photos of the Murloc village were released, the human fear of the Murloc was magnified. Plus Tiger's attack on Mariajoy. Therefore, Kuang is under a lot of pressure now. He must catch Tiger as soon as possible. Therefore, Empty chooses to accept Victor's suggestion. As for the world government, they will definitely accept Marine's application. They don't mind Marine going a little too far as long as they can catch Fisher Tiger as soon as possible." Sengoku glanced at Aokiji, then patted Aokiji on the shoulder, and said to them, "You all come out with me, I have something to tell you." Aokiji and others don't want to go yet, "I'll tell you everything." Sengoku to Aokiji et al. Aokiji, Huashaoshan and the others exchanged glances before leaving the empty office. Inside Sengoku's office, Sengoku's goats are still eating file fragments. Sengoku sat on the sofa, and then said to Aokiji and others, "You guys sit too." Aokiji and others did not sit down, but looked at Sengoku, waiting for his reply. Sengoku sighed and said, "You can't blame the marshal for what happened this time." "Don't blame the marshal. Who is to blame?" Sengoku continued, "It was Victor's suggestion. But the marshal accepted." Aokiji said. Sengoku wanted to expose who was behind it, but Aokiji wasn't stupid either. Victor's action was approved by Sora. Sengoku went on to say, "It's true that Sora agreed, but there is no other way. Do you know about the massacre case not long ago?" Sengoku asked Aokiji et al. Aokiji nodded. Huashaoshan, Flying Squirrel and others also nodded. Then, Aokiji said, "I don't believe Murloc Tiger would do such a thing, it's not in his character. Tiger once rescued a marine who fell into the water. The Sun Pirates are relatively restrained towards marines, pirates, and all humans who try to harm them. Try not to hurt humans. This is Aokiji's understanding of Tiger. Only, this time things were weird. Why did Tiger slaughter the village? There must be something else hidden in this. Aokiji wants to find out about this." Sengoku sighed and said, "It doesn't matter if Tiger did it or not." "What?" Aokiji and others were taken aback when they heard this. Seeing that they didn't understand, Sengoku sighed secretly. Although Victor is very annoying, but in terms of mind and city government, Victor is really much better than them. Sengoku explained. This incident reminded the celestial dragons that Fisher Tiger hadn't caught it yet. The massacre of the village also gave the world government an excuse to have sufficient reasons to do something extreme. Decisions, even including the implementation of Buster Call to the Fishman Island. Aokiji and the others couldn't help but widen their eyes when they heard this. Just as the world government made a Buster Call to Ohara. As long as Ohara is charged with a crime, and then in the name of protecting the world and human beings, the human world will unconditionally support the decision of the world government. Sluster Island, Kingdom of Paris. This is a country full of statues. There are many rich and nobles who will customize statues for themselves here. Whether it's a bust, a full-length statue, or a giant statue standing in the square. The Kingdom of Paris can accept all orders. Carving statues is not only a technical job, but also requires a lot of labor. Especially giant statues. The process of transporting from the production workshop to the dock, and then to the dock for loading requires a lot of manpower. Therefore, the Kingdom of Paris buys a large number of slaves every year. Especially Murlocs, who are tall and far stronger than ordinary humans, are more popular here. We have to move faster. The Kingdom of Paris is a member country of the world government. As long as we attack here, the nearby marine will arrive within 3 hours. Tiger wants to liberate the compatriots in the Kingdom of Paris. Xiao Ba smiled and said, it only takes half an hour. The evil dragon snorted softly, even if marine comes, we can kill them all. Okay, didn't I say that? We should try to avoid direct conflict with marine. Tiger shook his head. Although he wasn't afraid to fight marine, the more frequently he fought marine, the more likely they were to be caught up by marine. Brothers, get ready for action, Jinbei said to everyone. Oh. The Sun Pirates responded in unison. Koala also raised his hand. At the same time, another group of people also came to Sluster Island. Their purpose, like the Sun Pirates, is to rescue the slaves here. This group of people is the Revolutionary Army. The leader in charge of this task is called Shino. Although Hino is only 20 years old, he is already a veteran with rich combat experience. Sino came to Sluster Island to investigate, and he believed that there was a revolutionary foundation here. The Kingdom of Paris is a typical slavery country. All work in this country depends on slaves. At the same time, the oppression of slaves by the citizens of the Kingdom of Paris has reached the point where both humans and gods are indignant. Therefore, as long as the slaves here can be liberated, a large number of young and middle-aged people can be absorbed into the Revolutionary Army. However, the kingdom has a mercenary army. This mercenary army has nearly 5,000 people, some of whom are wanted criminals, and their combat effectiveness is very strong. Plus the 30,000-strong royal army, it is not an easy task to liberate the slaves of the Kingdom of Paris. Pirate, the pirate is coming. Suddenly, an alarm sounded in the port. Boom, boom, boom. Artillery began to bombard the docks. Come on. The Murlocs got off the boat, and they rushed ashore, shouting. The Paris Kingdom army stationed at the pier was stunned. It never occurred to them that someone would launch a surprise attack during the day. It's the Sun Pirates. It's the man-eating Sun Pirates. Run. I don't want to be eaten. When they learned that it was the Sun Pirates, part of the Kingdom army threw down their weapons, turned around and fled. Although the cannibalism is just a rumor, most people are ignorant. They would rather believe that this group of Murlocs cannibalize people than risk themselves to prove the truth of the news. Seeing someone run away, some others followed suit. Although the royal army of the Kingdom of Paris is composed of citizens. However, since joining the world government, the exterior has been protected by marine. Internally, there are also mercenaries to suppress slave riots. Therefore, the combat power of the Kingdom army is negligible, similar to a vase, which is not useful. These guys are too timid. The dragon held his saw blade and looked disdainfully at the fleeing foe. Okay, don't pay attention to them, go and rescue our compatriots. Tiger said to the dragon. Yes. The evil dragon nodded, and then led the people to the nearest carving factory. When the Sun Pirates landed, the Paris Kingdom army was also gathering. The task of the Kingdom army is to stay in the capital and protect the safety of the capital. Therefore, it is necessary to send mercenaries to fight against the Sun Pirates. Meanwhile, the Kingdom of Paris has turned to marine for help. Hino watched the mercenaries leave the camp outside the capital, and saw the royal army enter the capital. Hino keenly sensed that something big must have happened. After Zenuo's investigation, Zeno quickly got the answer. The Sun Pirates are here. Hearing this, Hino was taken aback for a moment, then rejoiced. According to the information investigated by Shino and others, the Sun Pirates are not villains. They don't harm humans, and at the same time, when they deal with their own compatriots, they will also deal with other slaves. In the night Tiger attacked Mariajoy, some slaves joined the Revolutionary Army. All the freed slaves were grateful for Tiger's kindness. Therefore, Hino now not only wants to liberate the slaves of the Kingdom of Paris, but also wants to contact Tiger. Let's go help them. Shino decides to help the Sun Pirates. The Revolutionary Army brought by Sino had a total of 500 people, and together with the local slaves, there were a total of 3,000 people. Although there are not many people, they dare to fight hard and are not afraid of death. 5,000 mercenaries, led by General Lad, quickly approached the Sun Pirates. Brother Tiger, this battle is inevitable. When the evil dragon saw 5,000 mercenaries, he suddenly regained his spirits. However, seeing this, Jinbei didn't show any signs of fear. Tiger clenched his fists and gave the order to attack. Although the number of enemies is large, they cannot retreat. Can only fight. The two sides quickly collided. Jinbei rushed to the front, he was like a tank, knocking countless people into the air. The evil dragon also brandished a knife and chopped a group of people to the ground. However, although the Murlocs' offensive was fierce, their numbers were not large. Soon, their momentum slowed down, and the mercenaries surrounded them like a pack of hungry wolves. The situation is critical. Sudden. Behind the 5,000 mercenaries there was the sound of gunfire. Tiger looked from afar and saw a group of people rushing out from behind the mercenaries. Some of this group were dressed in workers' clothes and some in farmers' clothes. Their clothes were dirty and they were obviously not regular soldiers or well-equipped mercenaries. Comrades, go! Hino rushed to the front. Why do humans help us? When Tiger and others were wondering, the mercenaries had already suffered a lot of casualties. Although mercenaries are not afraid of death, it does not mean that they are willing to die for the Kingdom of Paris. They are all out to make money, there is no need to put your life on it. After the mercenaries suffered setbacks, they quickly retreated. Hino also came to Tiger's side. Hello. My name is Zinuo, and I am a soldier of the Revolutionary Army. Hino introduced himself on the spot. Revolutionary Army? When Tiger was in a daze, suddenly, Xiao Ba ran over in panic. Xiao Ba still has a newspaper in his hand. The newspaper was found in the nobleman's room. The paper reads, the world government is going to publicly execute 10,000 Murlocs in the Sabodi archipelago. Zauba trotted all the way to Tiger. What's wrong? Zauba. Tiger looked at Xiao Ba suspiciously. Something happened, something happened. Xiao Ba panicked and handed the newspaper to Tiger. Tiger held the newspaper and looked at the contents of the newspaper. After reading it, Tiger's face suddenly changed. What happened? Jinbei and the evil dragon came over, but when they saw that Marine was going to execute 10,000 compatriots, they were also frightened. These bastard Marines. The evil dragon was furious, wishing he could kill the army now. Hino also leaned over, and after seeing the content above, he was silent for a while, and said, this is forcing you to show up. In the past, they also used the same method to deal with the Revolutionary Army. Use old and weak women and children as bait to attract big fish. This kind of thing is not the first of victors. Sengoku has done a lot on its own, it's just that both Sengoku and world government are in the name of justice. As for whether the process is just or not, it doesn't matter. As long as the result is just, it's fine. Brother Tiger, what should we do now? Jinbei asked Tiger. Tiger took a deep breath. What else can I do? Of course, I want to capture 10,000 humans and exchange hostages with Marine. The evil dragon said through gritted teeth. The evil dragon was right. A tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye. Since the world government uses Murlocs, old and weak, women and children as hostages, they will capture humans and exchange them with the world government. In the original plot, after Tiger died, the evil dragon broke up with Jinbei, and they parted ways. The evil dragon began to enslave humans in East Blue to build a Murloc empire in the same way that humans dealt with Murlocs. Therefore, the evil dragon will never compromise. Hino was startled when he heard this, and was about to persuade the evil dragon not to do this. If we do, it's as despicable as they are, Tiger said coldly. Tiger is a man, he can't do such mean things. Then what should we do? Many of the people they caught were children from Murloc Street. The evil dragon was suffocating. The evil dragon was abandoned by his parents in Murloc Street when he was a child. After growing up, he often behaved mischievously on the bottom of the sea, and was disgusted by the residents of the Fishmen Island as hooligans. However, the dragon, like Luffy, is very protective of his companions. The children in Murloc Street are the most precious companions in the eyes of the evil dragon. Tiger said. Aren't they looking for me? As long as they find me, they can release me. Brother Tiger, you can't do this. Jinbei was shocked when he heard this, and hurriedly dissuaded him. Brother Tiger, this is their trap, they will kill you. The dragon panicked too. Xiao Ba and the others were also scared to death. Hino persuaded Tiger. Maybe Fisher has another way, otherwise, you and I will go to see our commander first, maybe he has a way. Hino is a young man with ideas. The slaves of Paris and the Murlocs of the Fishmen Island are all warriors who can unite. In his eyes, they are the backbone of the revolution. And Fisher Tiger has that appeal. If it can be absorbed into the Revolutionary Army, then the Revolutionary Army will grow stronger. Tiger shook his head and said to everyone, there is not much time. If I don't go, they will die. I can't implicate so many people because of me. When Tiger regained his freedom, he went to Neptune and Otahime. He knew that Marine and world government would not let him go. Also prepared, from now on, never return to the Fishmen Island. Unexpectedly, the world government will not let go of the Fishmen Island after all. Now he has to pay the price for his choice. Eni's lobby. Eni's lobby's doors are wide open. Marshals from Marine and Eni's lobby stand in line. They seem to be waiting for someone to visit. And in the middle of the square at Eni's lobby, 10,000 murlocs lined up and knelt on the ground, facing the gate of the Eni's lobby. As long as people walk in through the Eni's lobby door, they will be the first to see them. Marine stood behind them, staring at them. There are many image worms arranged in the square. Image worms are placed from multiple angles. At the same time, a platform was set up in the square. There is a chair on the table. Victor sat on a chair with his feet crossed, waiting for today's protagonist to appear. Through the live broadcast of the image bug, people all over the world can see today's execution. Master Victor, these are freshly made delicacies from Spring Queen City, please taste them. Spanda said flatteringly. While speaking, Spandane gave the man behind him a look. Fuzzy Fu and others came to Victor with delicious food and wine. Victor glanced at it, but he was not polite. There was still half an hour before the execution time, and he could wait while eating. Time passed by every minute and every second. At this time, the pirate ship of the Sun Pirates docked at Eni's lobby. The Marines at the entrance of the Eni's lobby saw the boat stop. Everyone was expressionless and did not move. It's like it's been rehearsed. Tiger stepped off the boat and walked to the Eni's lobby. Under the gaze of tens of thousands of pairs of eyes, I came to the square step by step. Fisher Tiger. Brother Tiger is here. Boss Tiger. The Murlocs shouted Tiger's name in unison. Tiger remained expressionless and continued to move forward, knowing that he had no way out. He came to Victor step by step. He did show up. How courageous. Mom, did he really eat a lot of kids? In the square of Saboti Archipelago, people watched Tiger on the screen and began to discuss. Victor looked at Tiger, then waved his hand and removed the table and the food and wine on it. Wright has the image bug ready. At this time, Spandane was still standing behind him, looking like a dog, pretending to be a tiger. Victor waved his hand. Before Spandane could react, Wright came behind Spandane and said, "Go down and wait." Oh. Spandane hurriedly walked down. After Spandane left, Wright also stepped aside and started aiming the mirror worm at Victor. At this time, although you have committed countless crimes and your crimes are unforgivable, you are a man who dared to surrender himself. Victor said calmly. Can you let them go? Tiger asked. Victor said. Although they colluded with you, as the main criminal, since you choose to surrender, the world government will naturally deal with it lightly. On behalf of the world government, I can deal with them lightly. I hope you can keep your word. After Tiger finished speaking, he knelt down and waited for execution. At this moment, the Murlocs all looked at Tiger. Let's go, Victor said. At this time, two executioners came behind Tiger. The executioner held a sharp long knife in his hand, which could easily cut through the skin and muscle and pierce the internal organs. Now, in the name of justice, I impose the death penalty on the murderer who attacked the Holy Land. As Victor announced loudly, two long knives pierced Tiger's waist. At the moment when the blood splashed out, tears flowed from the eyes of the Murlocs around them involuntarily.